Welcome to the CPTM Smart Partners Hub, and today is the first week of April, is 8th of April, Friday, and we are actually 1 week within the new financial year of CPTM, which starts in April and ends in March, so it's 2016-2017. My colleagues on the board and the chairman, Tansioma, together with all the colleagues on the board, would like to congratulate all those who, CPTM members, government, public, private sector and networking members, who first of all had a very successful and very useful financial year, the 15 to 16, and hopefully it will be as useful or even better this year, the next one. CPTM, Commonwealth Partnership for Technology Management, and its members has a particular type of interaction and fabric for those interactions, and we call them smart partnership networking interactions, and they are, as we know, supporting each other, but as far as possible in real time. Above all, the limitless opportunity, the smart partnership ethos and the practice assists and supports the members to carry forward and deliver in their own context better and more sustainable the various many tasks that everybody has. And those various many activities within the CPTM Smart Partnership movement are focused actually on, first of all, the regional webs, Smart Partners webs within the Commonwealth and beyond, so therefore Caribbean and Northern American, Mediterranean, and Europe, and includes UK, Commonwealth plus beyond the Commonwealth, then Africa with the various sub-regional webs, including the Indian Ocean, and including the West Indian with Jordan, which is beyond the Commonwealth. And then is Southeast Asia, that includes also, in addition to India, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and of course South Pacific, in addition to New Zealand and Australia. Therefore, the CPTM members, smart partners, type of activities within the cooperative framework that will continue during the 2016 April to 2015 March is formed of activities which are ongoing and which fit into the strategic framework of the CPTM members, but also new ones that have been added within the priorities dictated by at the level of the country level, in addition to obviously the global priorities like those related to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, since 2015 September. This is the cooperative framework of activities assembled since January by the CPTM Smart Partners Hub team, and which was touched on by the advisory group related to activities to try to shape an overall strategy, or maybe to focus and to kind of reposition the CPTM members' overall activities so that benefits are continuing to be derived among the interdependence of the networks that we are entertaining. And the board, the CPTM board, on 31st of March last week, they met, and in addition to the issues related to governance, finance, and etc., they also took note and approved the CPTM Smart Partners Cooperative Framework as derived from the various inputs that have been made by CPTM members from all the regional and sub-regional Smart Partners webs. I'm making this introduction so that it is as a reminder of the distinction between many other networks or international organizations that each and every of us members, that they are governments, or private sector or professionals, are engaged in, and the CPTM Smart Partnership Fabric, Smart Partnership Movement, in which also they are engaged, and for the purpose of deriving the best benefits in its unique fashion. The particular strategic framework that is the base of the CPTM cooperative framework for 2016-17, and which evolved in the last 6 years, but in particularly became very focused since last year, is composed of 3 main groups of strategic activities. One is related to activities at the country level, and CPTM Smart Partners country activities, which are based or integrated within the network inclusive initiatives, which are financial quality and standards and technology, and all of them supporting national visions. Now, this strategic delivery, implementation of and delivery for and within the networks supported within the CPTM Smart Partnership Framework are very much related to real-time set up within the context of real-time decision and implementation within the countries. So in other words, there is not a decision or a design which is coming from a headquarter, but it is the CPTM framework, Smart Partnership Framework, is based on the ongoing improvement of the smart partnership approach applied to various situations that members are dealing with within the government, public-private sector, or professionals. And they are those that they already have to do. They are not on the top of those that they have to do or to implement within the civil service at the level of heads of government, ministers of finance, ministers of education, ministers of trade, chief cabinet secretaries, permanent secretaries, directors of various divisions, etc. To achieve that, within each country, there is a need for interaction between the various networks that are shaped in a smart partnership mode, and to adopt the good practice that is derived from sharing the experience among the CPTM members. And that can only happen if within the country, at any point of time, there are hubs which are emerging and which are connected with the CPTM overall Smart Partners, all the Smart Partners hub. The one where I'm in at the moment, in London. And the reason why it happened in London is because of the Commonwealth link. And in addition to the hubs, for the hubs to work, hub to hub, and hub among hubs, it does require smart communication, this hybrid communication that CPTM Hub is promoting and is kind of a leader within the networks community, international, and obviously supporting international partnerships such as those with International Standard Organization, World Future Society, Club of Rome, etc. So, the CPTM Smart Partnership Cooperative Framework is formed of individual country activities within various aspects of the national visions which need to be carried forward, trying to engage at a lateral but also vertical, engage bottom up as well as lateral, horizontal, various government departments, etc., through the smart partnership approach, but through the strategic framework developed in the last few years through the initiatives, that inclusive initiative that CPTM is very well known for. The second leg of the CPTM strategic framework for this year, which is continuation from the last few years, is obviously connected with the overall CPTM Smart Partnership Movements dialogue. So the CPTM Smart Partnership Dialogue in South Africa, the date is still pending. That date is still kind of important for the next dialogue, which was supposed to happen in Malaysia, and that date is also pending. But in the meantime, smart partnership activities and smart partnership dialogue practice is taking place, and various joint executive group members have been alert, and CPTM fellows, in particularly the fellow emeritus, in particular the chairman of CPTM, of the chairman of the Smart Partnership Movement, His Excellency President Museveni, President of Uganda, have been paying very special attention to the implications of the fact that the dates for South African dialogue and the dialogue in Malaysia are still pending. Therefore, a dialogue get-together is being planned since February by the JEG members, as recommended by CPTM Fellows Emeritus, either in Swaziland or in Namibia or in Uganda. And that needs to take place fairly urgently for obvious reasons, but particularly because the financial support basis of the CPTM Smart Partnership Movement, underpinned by endowment fund, has to be put right, since the fellows couldn't meet for the dialogue. They couldn't therefore be, as a group, alerted to the fact that they need to top up the endowment fund collectively, as they usually do for 20 years. That will ensure the continuity of CPTM support and CPTM Smart Partners Hub for the activities that are taking place. So this is the second leg. There will be a dialogue, get together, a short one, a small one, to enable the CPTM Fellow and Council of Patrons to meet and to take on board the issue of the endowment fund and the date for a dialogue, a larger dialogue. Separately from this third leg is formed of the ongoing advice that CPTM is providing to all the Commonwealth countries as a group, the Commonwealth itself, Commonwealth finance ministers, each and every head of government in the Commonwealth, and which advice is a derivation of the country activities and the financial inclusion standards, all the inclusion initiatives, and which are being shared for 20 years and will continue to be shared this year with each and every government in the Commonwealth. CPTM was set up on the basis of an inclusive approach, inclusive sharing equally the benefits and the experience that is derived, and therefore this will continue this year. Obviously, these things will take place only if at the country level the members and the CPTM smart partners are able to perform their activities, and therefore the CPTM Smart Partners Hub to support through the interactions that are taking place within the whole fabric of the CPTM Smart Partnership movement, and to intervene at the right place, right time, with the best practice that we have within the movement. This is one of the things that is likely to take place in the next 3 weeks, as we know, is, for instance, further development and implementation of the activities in Cameroon. The Cameroon government and Cameroon team they are implementing Vision 2035, and we know the Cameroonian members and smart partners, including His Excellency High Commissioner in London. They've been part and parcel of the preparation of CPTM technical mission, which will take place for the first time in Cameroon, and we hope it will be very useful not only to Cameroonian counterparts, but also to those who are part of the CPTM mission, like those from Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, Tanzania. So our Cameroonian symbol is a symbol which is at the CPTM Smart Partners Hub with us since the last few years, when the leading Cameroonian smart partner brought it to us and gave it for the AGM, Annual General Meeting. So this is our motto for the CPTM technical mission for Cameroon, and these are all our networks which are made available to Cameroon Vision in the next 2 weeks. Just about an hour ago, I had a meeting with Her Excellency High Commissioner of Seychelles. Seychelles itself is making available their experience on carrying forward the Vision 2020, and she was particularly trying to tell me that she would like to ensure that some of the experience they have, particularly in relation to ocean development, and there is a coast and there are fisheries and so on in Cameroon, is being made available to Cameroon. Balfour, Robert Balfour, about 2 weeks ago, we were with Janet Morgan, Dr. Janet Morgan, who is a CPTM fellow. They were discussing about West Africa and their own experience, and they're terribly interested in Cameroon. And Lord Balfour provided me with a reading tip, a smart reading tip. It was, which was reading, but which consists also in quite a lot of description about the great peaks of Cameroon, and it's part of a book, Travels in West Africa, which I'll make it available as smart reading tip. This is just to show you that today, since we have another 2-3 weeks until we go to Cameroon and meet the counterparts, I would encourage each and everybody who is able to see this webcast to try to contribute towards the Cameroonian Vision 2035. We'll make sure we will inform the Cameroonian colleagues about your particular interest and contribution. Further develop and keep aware everybody on the emerging digital opportunities and challenges as a potentially inclusive initiative. As we know, for a number of months by now, we had a very intensive preoccupation in developing a landscape for digital opportunities and challenges for smart partners, and we're very grateful to all those who are since last year part and parcel and continuing to develop this initiative. For instance, in addition to the central bank governor's interest in fintech, blockchains and so on, blockchain technology, those who also promoted our interest, like we're grateful to Demos for including 2 specific articles into the Demos Quarterly of March. Demos is a think tank in UK, very well known internationally, alongside some of the best practitioner internationals in relation to issues of digital and security issues. So Moses and Amiruddin, our leading figures in the digital initiative, have been submitting 2 separate articles which have been included in the Demos Quarterly, as you have seen last week. But you may wish also to note other authors in the same Demos Quarterly that have been included, such as Ben Hammersley or Sir David Armand. Today there will be 1 or 2 other things included to continue our digital awareness into the weekly smart reading tips, and one of it that I would like to attract attention to is a Technology Vision 2016 Trends, published by just published by Accenture company, and the reason why it's particularly interesting and very useful is because rather than focusing only on digital applications, they are focusing on people. They are saying people first, primacy of people in a digital age, and they are particularly relating that to intelligent automation and all the implications to do with that, the solutions for that, the liquid workforce and the platform economy. So it's actually a very useful brief that you can have. Now you will see that we are connecting this brief to the last week also brief on which is connected to climate change, a brief on performance and circular economy, which was produced by Professor Walter Sahel, a Cameroon member, and which was published in Nature. And you will see his comments about the Accenture report. So just to show that we are not necessarily only producing reports and passing them as automatically, but we interconnect so that discussions and thinking is taking place in this very busy environment that all of us are. Finally, for me today, I'd like to say that I was being invited by the High Commissioner of Her Excellency of Rwanda to the International Day of Reflection on Genocide on 7th of April, when in Rwanda 22 years ago, for about 100 days from 7th of April, this most unhuman act took place consistently up to the time when it was kind of ended, about 100 days. And it is not only the genocide in Rwanda, probably is a day, international day for any other types of these genocides or situations. For all those who participated to it, it was called Kwibuka, which is to remember in Kinyarwanda language. And it reminded me personally of our CPTM mission at the request of the Honorable Minister of Trade of Rwanda in November, at the end of October 2015, when Professor Sam Muhika and myself have been for the first time requested to meet in Kigali a number of government institutions who are connected with either their national vision or the Bureau of Standards, Bureau of Statistics, National Council for Science and Technology, etc. It was a very emotional 3 hours or so memorial yesterday, which ended up with lighting a candle, which I brought it to the hub, and which ourselves would like to dedicate today. And with this, wish you a nice weekend and hope to hear from you.